Cordyceps Sinensis, the most important food discovery of the 21st century. Watch and hear master herbalist, metaphysicist, and best-selling author of over 40 books on herbs, metaphysics, and altered states of consciousness as Richard Allen Miller gives a scientific report on the amazing and multiple immune-enhancing benefits of the Cordyceps Sinensis medicinal mushroom.
Hi, my name is Richard Allen Miller. Apparently some of you don't know who I am, so I'll give you a brief bio. I write books. I'm a physicist that worked for Navy SEALs and later for Navy intelligence, and basically running Spook Central for the Navy for almost 11 years out of Seattle, Washington. Today I'd like to talk to you about a new pharmaceutical mushroom that has been evolved and developed and mutated into what we now consider to be probably the single most important food development in the 21st century. This is a lab-grown Cordyceps Sinensis hybrid. We'll talk about nanoprocessing as a new delivery system in pharmaceutical mushrooms later in this talk. The mushroom itself was discovered several centuries ago in the Himalayan Alps of Tibet, where it was growing at 14,000 feet and higher. It only found at these higher altitudes, and because it's such a rarefied mushroom, it required DNA from dead insects to acquire the oxygen it needed to survive at these altitudes. As such, it has now been discovered that Cordyceps sinensis, which is basically a traditional Chinese mushroom, is helpful with such problems as low energy. It's about oxygen being delivered on a cellular level. It approaches coughs, tuberculosis, and lower back pain. These are all various areas that it's had clinical studies. Its growth pattern in the wild is that it will attach itself to dead insects to acquire the DNA for oxygen. Now, what basically happens in the mushroom itself is it creates what is called a polysaccharide, a very large oxygen-based sugar molecule that has perhaps maybe as many as 100 oxygen molecules in it. As the sugar is broken down, the oxygen is released on a cellular level, and hence you have regulation of blood sugar swings and the elimination of cancer, which cannot exist in an oxygen-rich environment. Basically, the cordyceps, it was discovered to be a symbiont rather than a parasite, in that it's basically boosting the immune system of its known host. Actually, it doesn't actually live in anything living. It only attaches itself to the dead insects or skeletons of insects. The fruit body mushrooms are broken down into three categories. There's the fruiting body, which you normally would consider the mushroom cap. The mycelium, which is in the soil itself, has fine filaments, and then the extract, or if the mushroom was grown in a growth medium, that would have a type of media mix that it grows in. All three of these parts of the mushroom have different and unique chemicals, each causing a blend. What we call full spectrum is when we take the fruiting body, the mycelium, and the extract that it was grown in, and we condense them all down into a soup, which is then dehydrated and formed into a mash. In the cultivation of these, we're doing this in ball jars at Aloha Medicinals out of Carson City, Nevada. The production levels right now in this kind of a production is in excess of 250,000 kilograms a month, or over 1 million pounds a month. This product is now being sold not just for cancer victims and so on, but it's being used in feedlots as an antibiotic substitute. The quality of the cultivation is extremely important for a specific target compounds. What we did is go after a specific Cordyceps Sinensis, of which there are a series of different cultivars. And we found the specific ones we wanted to clone, and from there we began harvesting that one as a reproductive organ. The hybridization process is when we took a snake venom, which is very simple chemistry, and we injected it into the mycelium in a manner to cause hybridization of the polysaccharides. This particular hybridization form increased the polysaccharide content by literally 5.4 times that of the mushroom found in the wild. The overview of the properties of this is it improves the respiratory function because it's delivering oxygen on a cellular level. It increases the absorption of oxygen in the body by more than 40% more, improves functioning of the heart, maintains cholesterol balance, chronic kidney diseases are improved. It causes and has been shown to actually literally shrink tumors to the size of several clinical studies. It improves the immune system, which we're going to talk about in a little bit with the other kind of chemistries called beta-glucans. It reduces fatigue because obviously oxygen being delivered on a cellular level will act as a stimulant without stimulant-like downsides of blood sugar. It also improves the stamina and athletic performance. Cordyceps was first brought to the media when the Chinese Olympic team used it to win all their gold medals, and it was found to be considered a food rather than a drug. It is a performance enhancer and is used by world-class weightlifters to improve their world records. A remedy for weakness and fatigue, it increases adenosine triphosphate levels in the body. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is the handshake that starts and ends all enzymic processes. In a current paper I'm writing, at this point, it will be shown that ATP is a quark gluon plasma and where cold fusion occurs in the body. Increasing the oxygen utilization increases cellular oxygen by more than 40%. That means the ATP levels of the body are increased by more than 40%. That means that someone's performance or juice or energy is increased, life force, so on. The importance of ATP that actually releases the energy of it, it is the handshake that starts and ends all enzymic processes. An increase in cellular ATP means a real increase in actual energy. The immune boost is where the beta-glucan is very similar to a polysaccharide, except that it's a smaller sugar molecule that looks like an invading bacteria. Because it looks like an invading bacteria, NK killer cells are released in the body as the sugar is being broken down, and it makes it look as if you have a bacteria that's coming into your body and sharpens the immune system. The chemistry is formed with adenosine and cordycepsin, which are the two primary target chemistries. But I should mention that hydroxycordydenosine and some of the other polysaccharides are so complex and so many of them that these are the basic target chemistries, and what we have found is it's better to take the mushroom as a whole rather than as an extract, removing all other products from the mushroom. For more information on this, you can go to the website alohamedicinals.ca as the Canadian representative for Aloha Medicinals.